Good morning students. Welcome back. I am Abrar Ahmed. Today we are going to start class 12th physics unit 4. So class 12 physics unit 4 electromagnetic induction and alternating current. In this unit we will study what is the electromagnetic induction. So let's start. In previous unit we already studied when electricity pass through any conductor, then across the conductor, around the conductor, magnetic field develop due to electric field. So in previous chapter we studied when current flow through any conductor, when electricity flow through any conductor, then around the conductor magnetic field develop. This is called Oersted experiment. This is called Oersted experiment. So after Oersted experiment, Michael Faraday think that when electricity can produce magnetic field, so why not magnetic field produce electricity? So in this chapter we will study what is the electromagnetic induction. So electromagnetic induction is the when magnet move around the conductor, then electricity produced. When magnet move around the conductor, then electricity produced in the wire. This is called electromagnetic induction. So let's start. Our first topic is magnetic flux. So in previous chapter you already studied what is electric flux. So electric flux is the total number of electric lines of force. Same magnetic flux is the total number of magnetic lines of force. Magnetic flux is the total number of magnetic lines of force passing normally through any area in a magnetic field. It's called a magnetic flux and it is denoted by phi. Magnetic flux, the total number of magnetic lines of force, and electric flux is the total number of electric lines of force. So magnetic flux, the total number of magnetic lines of force passing normally through any area in a magnetic field is called a magnetic flux. It is denoted by phi and formula phi equal to Ba. B is the magnetic field, A is the cross section area. If there are angle between magnetic lines of force and area, so formula is Ba cos theta. The formula of magnetic field flux is Ba cos theta. So like electric flux, magnetic flux is the total number of magnetic lines of force. Now we will start Faraday experiment. So you can write. Now our next topic is Faraday's experiment. So Faraday's experiment, when north pole of a magnet is moved toward the coil, when this north pole of the magnet move toward the coil, this is our coil, this is galvanometer, then north pole of the magnet is moved toward the coil, then galvanometer show the deflection in one direction, galvanometer show deflection in this direction. This is the galvanometer needle, it show deflection in one direction. And when the magnet is at rest, then there is no deflection in galvanometer. There is no deflection because magnet is at rest. So when north pole of the magnet move toward the coil, then galvanometer show the deflection in one direction, and when north pole of the magnet move away from the coil, when north pole of the magnet move away from the coil, then galvanometer show the deflection in opposite direction. This is the galvanometer needle, this show opposite direction. In this case, when north pole coming toward the coil, then deflection in one direction, and when north pole going away from the coil, then galvanometer show the deflection in opposite direction. And this is the Faraday's law. You can write fourth point of Faraday's experiment. Fourth point is, if the magnet move fast, then deflection of galvanometer increase. When magnet move fast, then deflection of galvanometer increase, and magnet move slowly, then deflection of galvanometer decreasing. Fifth point, if magnet is weak, then deflection will be small. If magnet is weak, the magnetic strength of the magnet is weak, then deflection will be small. Sixth point, when south pole of magnet move toward the coil, when this south pole of magnet move toward the coil, then deflection in galvanometer in opposite direction, like north pole, opposite direction of north pole. When north pole is moving toward the coil, this is north pole, the deflection in this direction, and when south pole moving toward the coil, the deflection in this direction. So direction is opposite. Fifth point, conclusion. The conclusion of Faraday's experiment: whenever there is a relative motion between coil and magnet, whenever there is a relative motion between coil and magnet, then an induced current is developed. Then an current is developed in the coil. The current is called induced current, and this full process is called electromagnetic induction. So conclusion of the Faraday's experiment: whenever there is a relative motion between coil and magnet, there is a relative motion between coil and magnet, then an induced EMF is developed. An induced EMF, or we can say an induced current, is developed in the coil. This process is called electromagnetic induction. So this is called electromagnetic induction. Now you can write Faraday's experiment. We will start our next topic, Lenz experiment. Now our next topic is Lenz law. So what is Lenz law? Lenz law. In the year 1828, German physicist Heinrich Lenz propounded a law to find out the direction of induced current. It means, what is Lenz law? We know that when there is a relative motion between coil and magnet, whenever there is a relative motion between coil and magnet, then due to magnet and due to change of magnetic flux, an induced current is developed in the coil. So what is the direction of induced current? We can find the direction of induced current with the help of Lenz law. So in the year 1828, German physicist Heinrich Lenz propounded a law to find out the direction of induced current. What is the Lenz law? Their statement: the direction of induced current is such that it opposes the change which produces it. It opposes the change. Statement: the direction of induced current is such that it opposes the change which produces it. It means when north pole of the magnet move toward the coil, this is our coil, then direction of current is such that this is the direction of current anti-clockwise. It means it behaves like north pole. We can remember, this is our north pole. So direction of induced current is in the north pole, like north pole, and it is also north pole. So it opposes, both are opposed because same pole are repel each other. So it opposes the change which produce it. North pole produce this current, and this current opposes the north pole. We can understand, this is south pole, this is north pole. When south pole is moving toward the coil, so it becomes like this way. This is called clockwise direction and this is anti-clockwise. So south pole produce this induced current and this induced current oppose the south pole. It means it oppose the change which produce it. South pole produce this current and this current oppose the south pole. This is called Lenz law. Lenz law based on the conservation of energy. Lenz law based it is based on the law of conservation of energy. So what is Lenz law? Lenz law is used to find out the direction of induced current, and Lenz law it oppose the change which produce it. If north pole produce the induced current, so this current oppose the north pole, and if south pole oppose the change in current, if south pole produce this induced current, then this induced current oppose the south pole. You can write Lenz law. Now our next topic is eddy current. It is also called Foucault current. So what is eddy current? To understand the phenomena of eddy current, we are taking an example. Suppose this is horseshoe magnet. This is horseshoe magnet. This is north pole and this is south pole. We are placing an conductor. We are placing an conductor between the north pole and south pole of the horseshoe magnet. This is the copper plate, this is rectangular plate or maybe circular plate. If we are placing this plate between the magnet and we fixed from the point, when we move this plate, this move continuously and stop after some time due to air resistance. This move continuously and after long time plate will be stopped due to air resistance. Then we apply electric current. In this magnet. Now again oscillate the plate. Then plate will not oscillate. It oscillate, and when we oscillate the plate, this plate will be damped soon and will be stopped soon because current are produced in this plate and motion of the current change the flux due to electricity and magnetic field. This current is called eddy current because this current like eddies in water, so this is called eddy current. Eddy current, or we can say Foucault current because Foucault discovered the current, so this is also called after the name of the scientist Foucault. This is also called Foucault current. So when there is no electricity, then it will stop for long time. It will stop for long time and stop. So it will move for long time and stop due to air resistance. And when we flow current in this coil, when we flow current in this magnet, then it will not move for long time and stop due to eddies. Eddies are produced like water. Eddies are produced in water. So this is called eddy current. So we can explain eddy current. You can draw the diagram. Now our next topic is Fleming's right hand rule. So what is Fleming's right hand rule? If we stretch the forefinger, central finger and thumb of our right hand in mutually perpendicular direction, then if forefinger points the direction of field, then thumb along the direction of motion of the conductor, then the then the central finger would give the direction of induced current. The direction of induced current. Thumb show the direction of motion of conductor. Forefinger show the direction of magnetic field. Then the middle finger show the direction of induced current. Fleming's right hand rule is used to find the direction of induced current like Lenz law. So Lenz law and Fleming's right hand rule is the same. It is also used to find the direction of induced current if magnetic field show the direction of forefinger show the direction of magnetic field, thumb show the direction of motion of conductor, then induced EMF will develop in the direction of middle finger. This is the Fleming's right hand rule. Now our next topic is self-induction. So what is self-induction? On increasing the value of main current, the direction of induced current will be opposite. On increasing the value of main current, the direction of induced EMF will be opposite. So today the main current. And on decreasing the value of main current, the direction of induced current will be in the direction of main current. This phenomenon is called self-induction. It means when we flow the current in one coil, then an induced current is developed due to change in electric flux. This phenomenon is called self-induction. When current flow in one coil and due to change of electric flux and induced current is developed in the same coil, this phenomenon is called self-induction. On increasing the value of main current, the direction of induced EMF will be opposite of the main current, and on decreasing the value of main current, the direction of induced current will be in the same direction of the main current. This phenomenon is called self-induction. Now you can write. Now our next topic is mutual induction. So whenever the current passing through a coil or circuit, change, the current will be changed, then magnetic flux linked with the neighboring coil will also change. Whenever we are considering this is a coil, and whenever current flowing in this coil is changed, whenever the current passing through a coil or circuit change, the magnetic flux linked with the neighboring coil. This is our neighboring coil. The magnetic flux linked with the neighboring coil will also change. Hence, an induced EMF is developed in the second coil. So, in this coil, an induced EMF will develop. This phenomenon is called mutual induction. It means whenever current flowing in this coil is changed, then an induced current developed in second coil. This phenomenon is called mutual induction. Now you can write